This is Paul with Integrity, and today I'm excited to announce the availability of the Splunk add-on for ConnectWise PSA, formerly known as Manage. The Splunk add-on for ConnectWise PSA Splunk's data from your ConnectWise PSA instance, both in a streaming stateful format as well as maintaining a cache of the current state of it. It's actually based upon the existing add-on for ConnectWise Manage, but adds some very important functionality. First of all, it gives you the ability to reliably and scalably detect items that were deleted out of ConnectWise Manage. So without this capability, over time, your ConnectWise PSA database will get out of sync with your Splunk database, or Splunk KV store, because it has no mechanism of pushing when an object is deleted. So this solves for that and allows you to have more accurate utilization and revenue projections. A second huge benefit of this is that it allows reporting against time entries that have no start and end time. So for example, a consultant takes PTO or your company has a holiday and you put in that you put in a time entry for that day, but just 8 hours of information, or 8 hours in there, no start and end time. You can now include that in your Splunk reporting on it. Several other enhancements, some standardization of source types on that. And so if you have already started building searches against data from ConnectWise Manage, please make sure to check those. There may be some lookup tables that you don't need anymore. But anyway, let's jump over here and get that installed. We are going to head over to Manage Apps, and we're going to install this from a file. And then grab the most recent version of that, and we're going to upload it. Now, this is going to warn you that you need to set it up, and that's true. You do need to give it some API credentials. This managed company name is going to be what you put in when you log in to ConnectWise. So it has 3 fields, 2 if you have SSO enabled. You have company, username, and password. Company, that's what it's looking for. The API client ID is going to be in a GUID format, and that is going to come from the ConnectWise developer portal. And once we get this configured, while we're waiting for it to populate, I'm actually going to show you where to generate this and the API user's public and private key. And then finally, just that, for the user that's going to actually connect into ConnectWise, this is going to be the public and private key. And again, I'm going to show you how to generate those in a moment. What I'm not going to show you, however, is the values of our API client ID, public key and private key, because those are super sensitive and you want to protect those as best you can. After you click that green save button on the screen, you will know that it worked because all the rest of the information will remain there, and then the private key will go blank. Now I've jumped over here to a search window. To start getting data in, we want to first go to data inputs, and we're going to look at this ConnectWise Manage modular input. Now, I'm just going to turn some of these on. In reality, you really want to align these to the use cases that you have, right? My use case happens to be showing you how this works. So I'm just going to turn a few of those on. Notice that we have a collection with each of these, right? That's going to be that cache that I was talking about. And there are saved searches that are going to populate that. So again, for the sake of demonstration, we are going to, we're going to turn some of these on. For members. Okay, that should be enough. Perfect. And we can already see that we have some data coming in here, but I did promise to show you where to get that client ID and the API username. So we're going to jump over to the ConnectWise developer portal, and this is linked off of that setup page, so you don't have to remember that the URL is developer.connectwise.com. And in this top blue navigation, we want to click client ID. Now you can see that I already had one there, so I'm going to click that new integration button that I just kind of quickly glazed over. We're going to give it a name, so something to the effect of Splunk ConnectWise, a description, a technical contact email, and then finally, we're going to select what product is for. And if you've heard me bouncing back and forth between Manage and PSA, they're in the middle of a rebrand of this. So in some places it's called Manage, in some places it's called PSA. And it's kind of fun to watch how more ends up in the PSA column over time and fewer in the Manage column. Anyway, once you have all of your information in there, let's go ahead and click that Submit button. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this is a manual process. This is going to fire an email off to ConnectWise, and they're going to get back to you with that client ID. And again, that's going to be in a GUID format. You can see an example down here on the screen too. So this is what, wait for that email to come back. And then the other two bits that you're going to need for this are an API user public and private key. Now, as a matter of best practice, I'm going to recommend going into your system and security roles and actually creating a new security role for that. You don't really want to use the existing admin role because although it can see everything, it can also add, edit, and delete everything. And you don't necessarily, in fact, for the current version of the add-on for ConnectWise, you don't need anything more than inquire, and only inquire on the objects that you intend to Splunk. Future versions of that, we are going to have some functionality that will leverage at least add and edit, but I don't want to spoil all of that today. Anyway, so once you have your role added, we're going to go again to the system and members. We're going to go to this API members tab, and we're going to create a new API member. We're going to give it that same role that we just created. In this case, I am going to give it a technician role. And we're going to go ahead and click Save on that. Now, to get the API keys, we want to click on this API keys tab and add a new key. Add a description and click Save. It's going to warn you that this is the only time that private key is going to be viewable. So make sure that you take note of that and the public key, but especially that private key, and store it somewhere securely, your password vault, wherever you happen to store these credentials. Because once we go off of this tab, it's no longer visible. Now, I'm going to delete that, because I just showed a public and private key on video for science, but I don't want that to exist any longer than it takes to produce this video. Okay, cool. So now we can jump back over here in Splunk, and we're starting to see that ConnectWise data show up. You can see here that it's all just JSON format. It should already be properly timestamped. It should already be, you'll have actually some of the multi-dimensionality flattened so that you can very easily look at the last updated field, any custom fields that you might have added to any of your screens. And if I remember correctly, no, that's not one we did. Let's see, what did I turn on here? These are going to be running right now. There we go. So this is what that cache on the Splunk side looks like. And always remember that that key field is going to be hidden. So this is actually going to be the ConnectWise identifier of it to create that 1-1 match. And you'll see that all of these are active right now because, well, I just started Splunking it. Nothing has been deleted since the point in time that we started Splunking it. So yeah, they should all be active. Over time, as you add, edit, or delete these things, then this active flag will turn to 0 for the things you get rid of. And so what does that matter? Well, now you can do like really cool dashboards like this on for timekeeping, right? So let's say that we wanted to look at all time that was done for admin miscellaneous, for example. Nope, we're going to go over here actually to work type for that, excuse me. So let's say all time that was spent on, say an internal meeting. We're going to clear out that all there. and boom, the reporting on it is super, super, super fast. Or let's say that we want to see everything that was done on this specific Jira board. There it is, real time. We can sit there and slice it up, and all this is doing, it's using those JSON objects on the back end, and it is mashing that up against the stream of time entries. So that was how to, first of all, a quick overview of the add-on for ConnectWise PSA, how to set it up, how to get those critical bits of information that you need for that setup, and then finally a quick demonstration of how that looks in action. So thank you for watching today. And hey, if you need some help setting this up, please feel free to reach out for us. You can book an hour of mesh right off of our website, and we can definitely get it set up for you within that hour. Now, if you want to build some intelligence on top of that, cool, hit us up as well. Might need a few more hours of our mesh service to make that happen, but appreciate it. Thank you for watching today, and feel free to reach out with any questions. Bye.